What's up, everybody? It's your boy Ryan, and this is the Thunder Channel on Nootropics. You guys know the drill. Go to livecortex.com if you want elite level nootropic products, starting with the Cortex stack. Right now, the Cortex stack is 30% off. You can find that at livecortex.com. Just use the coupon code 30. I mean, it's a powerful stack for pretty much everything, especially if you're a productive person. A better deal is the Cortex double stack. That's 2 bottles of Cortex in a package, but each are $24. Find that at the homepage at livecortex.com. Listen, if you're brand new to nootropics, you have to start with Nootropics Ground Zero. It's a video course that I created for people that are new to clear up the confusion, give you ideas on stacks, show you how to adjust, show you how to get results. That video course is live at livecortex.com. If you're in a couple years but need to ascend to the 6-year mark that is defined as the master class, where people do things differently and get better results, watch the Nootropics Masterclass video. It is sick, and you can find that at livecortex.com. Last couple things. If you're a business person, a serious business person that wants to be productive but has mental energy and mental functionality issues, you need to look into either the 1 month, the 3.5 month, or the 6 month intensive. These are intensive nootropics, hands-on, cognitive performance enhancing, results-driven neurohacking consults where you work directly with me to get results of elite brain performance. Either the 1 month, the 3.5 months, the 6 month intensive. Man, those are awesome programs, and it's so fun to just work on fully optimizing people's brains. Get those at livecortex.com. Okay, so I want to just quickly show you how to use Google Docs to jot down your stacks, the stacks that you're experimenting with, and then also to notate the stacks that you have figured out work. Obviously, one of the major themes that you guys see on the channel and that I like to talk about because it reflects my experience and it works is jotting everything down. Okay, so if you're trying to reach so going into nootropics experimentation, people usually have to define their goals. Right, you have to define what it is you're using nootropics for, and like so. Do you crash at 2 p.m. and you don't want to crash because you're running your company, you've got stuff to do, so you need mental energy at 2 p.m. Do you not energy crash, but general processing crash at 2 p.m. and like suddenly your working memory starts failing and your general processing speed and capacity starts failing? Well, that would be a goal to target. Throughout the day, do you just not have energy? Nootropics may not be the first answer for that. You would have to figure out why exactly you're not having mental energy or general energy, fix that, and then you can bring nootropics in. But generally, the point is you have to define a goal. So I want to take you live into an actual regimen report. This is titled Test Regimen Report. I'm going to put it on the screen, but this is an actual working regimen report for a 1 month intensive client that I've been working for just about a month, and just renewed for another month because we're just making a lot of good progress here. This is a person whose defined goal is at around 2 p.m., they lose energy. Their brain starts to fail them. They start to lack focus. And for the rest of the day, which is it's like a critical period for the rest of that day, critical time frame, this person has to run their company and then run a new company that they have started. So what we've done, bringing you down into the working stacks area, is we've attempted a bunch of different stacks. So I want to show you what we've attempted, what has worked for this person's defined goals, and a simple way to track working stacks and a regimen report on Google Docs. This is basically just a Google document, right? It's docs.google.com and then a document, and this is one of the templates in here. I don't believe it was called regimen report to begin with, but this image right here is just a Google Docs template image, and you can find that once you get into Google Docs and start using it, but you can put any image you want. The first thing that we tried to achieve this person's defined goal was 200 milligrams of dynamine and 100 milligrams of teacrine. These are both wakefulness promoting compounds. The goal was really just to keep the person functional and awake during this time so that they had their brain and their wits to them so they could attack other things like running the guy's current business and then having the energy to run the guy's new business. This stack ended up keeping the client awake, but he lacked focus. Okay, so this wasn't the whole picture. So what does that tell us? This tells us that we've got to bring in an agent that's going to focus the brain at the same time it keeps it awake. So what we did on the next experimentation, which we have labeled as good stack, meaning this actually achieves what the person wanted to achieve, keeps you awake, helps you focus, is we've got the same stack of dynamine and teacrine, but we just added 800 milligrams of oxiracetam onto the stack, right? A simple addition of a focus-inducing racetam solved that issue. So at this point, once we realized that this stack worked for what we were trying to do, we moved on, because the goal is to establish a handful of stacks that work for what you want to do, and then to jot them down like this in this type of fashion so that you have a very easy, simple way to understand what works and what doesn't work, and for reference. And then once you get on a schedule, after you identify a bunch of different good stacks, then you just can go in here and go, okay, you know what, I'm going to take stack 2 today. Let's take stack 4 today, on and on. So the next thing that we experimented with, for me understanding what combinations actually give this guy good brain performance, is dynamine and bromontane. We understood that dynamine gives the client a good response, right? A good functional energy response. Bromontane should add in basically doing the same thing, but should give the person a little more kind of dopamine-centered motivation. So we tried it, 200 milligrams dynamine, 50 milligrams bromontane, and the result was keeps the person awake and functional. Now, functional in this case is a little broad and not as specific as focus, but it was reported that this stack basically just turns on the lights in every facet for this person to do what they need to do. Okay, so here's a good stack. We labeled a good stack after it was in the experimental period, in which right here it was like, it just said like testing stack or something. And now that's a stack that we jot down in the regimen report, so that this person knows and has a reference for good stacks that work. Then we brought in one of the really, really heavy hitters in the nootropic sphere, which is modafinil. I had the person get a 200 milligram generic modafinil tablets, a bunch of tablets. And we started with a half tablet of modafinil, right? Infusing a bunch of nootropics logic in here. You don't want to take the whole thing first. You want to start low and see how far you can go up to the maximum allowable or tolerable dose. So we started with 100 milligrams modafinil, 100 milligrams of phenylpiracetam. Very, very simple stack. But knowing what this person needs, which is mental energy, and I'm highlighting the modafinil for that, and then functionality and focus, and functionality encompasses working memory as well. We've got 100 milligrams of phenylpiracetam in there. Ended up, this stack works. Pretty much does everything we need to do, considering the defined goals with this person as it relates to nootropics. So now it's set as a good stack. Moving on, the next experiment that we ran was, considering that modafinil worked, we wanted to throw in a different racetam and see if it actually was a little better, if it was the same. A half tablet of modafinil, which is 100 milligrams, and then 750 milligrams, pretty standard dose of oxiracetam. This stack worked, kept the person awake and functional. He actually reported that he had more focus on this stack. So this is something that I forgot to put in here, more focus. So now we know this is a really, really powerful, heavy-hitting, but simple stack. And by the way, he did not require a choline source. This guy just doesn't require a choline source. He eats a lot of meat, eats a lot of eggs. Simple stack, keeps the person awake and functional, has more focus. At the bottom here, you'll see the next stack that we are testing. We're actually actively testing this stack right now. And this is another very simple stack of 200 milligrams of phenylpiracetam. So bumping that dose up and then bumping the oxiracetam dose up. What I'm trying to achieve by doing this is obviously having a bunch of different options like we always talk about. Now you guys get to actually see this in writing. But instead of keeping the client reliant on modafinil, we want to try to replicate the effects of this stack 5, and even stack 4, meaning giving a lot of mental energy, which we can achieve by phenylpiracetam. Obviously not as long-lasting mental energy as modafinil, but hey, you can't always take modafinil. But then at the same time, did I spell this right? Oh, yeah, I did. Okay. Having the working memory and the focus element in it too for a good synergistic stack. So this is what we're testing right now. 200 milligrams phenylpiracetam, a gram of oxiracetam. Now look, if it works, but it could be better, I think the memory aspect of it is fine, but if you compare it to the modafinil stack, the thing that might be missing is just longer lasting energy, in which case we would probably add to this a couple hundred milligrams of dynamine, and then we would monitor. So this is basically just an exercise to show you, let me just erase that so that I make sure that, it's like back to the way it was, how to keep track of stacks with a regimen report. You should even title it maybe regimen report on Google Docs. Like sign up for our Google Docs account. It's free. Go in and create a new document. Put a nifty image there of something related to neuroscience if you'd like. Have it titled very simple regimen report or experiment report, a nootropics experiment report, and then jot down in this fashion. I mean, if you guys want to use this template, this is a simple way to do it. And that's the point I'm trying to get across. The stacks you're experimenting with, write them down. Have your goals defined for you. For me, the goals were defined with this particular client in a different document, which consisted of me taking notes and defining the goals. But if you're going to do this way, just define your goals in here, put goals under like working stacks, or in this space, probably put like experimental stacks or something, and then define your goals. Do you want focus? Is it memory? Is it both? Is it mental energy? Make sure you understand exactly what your goals are so that you can tailor nootropics to experiment with based on what they do, based on your goals. And then jot everything down. Stack 1. Here's stack 1, in parentheses after stack 1, write down your results. It doesn't have to be super complex. And do the same thing with a bunch of other stacks. The goal being, like right now with this person, we have 5 working stacks. Okay, this is incredible because we've got 5 different options over the course of a 2-week period, or a 1-week period, or a 30-day period that we can use to prevent tolerance and prevent downregulation of receptors and prevent side effects. We know they work. And because we're going to be cycling, the goal here is to get like 10 different formulations. That's usually the goal in the 1-month intensives that we do at Cortex Labs, in addition to like fixing baseline energy issues and sleep issues and a few other things, whatever constitutes, good energy we work on. Once we've got 10 different formulations here, then it's a matter of getting on a schedule of these different formulations to prevent tolerance and to just kind of keep switching it up, to keep the brain guessing and keep the nootropic response fresh. So we're going to have 10 of these different stacks that work good for different things. We're probably going to bring in some other compounds like Alcar, maybe some phenylalanine, maybe some tyrosine, maybe some other wakefulness promoting agents as well, maybe variations of modafinil, just fussing with our modafinil to see what works. And at the end, we'll have 10 of these, and this will be a simple reference of working stacks that this person's going to have, that I'm going to have for my understanding of what we need to do moving forward. But anybody can go open up a Google document, create a regimen report or experiment report, and start jotting down stacks. This keeps things so simple because then you can go, okay, you know what? Today's Monday. I'm going back to work. I've got a lot to do. I have my defined goals. I'm going to take stack 3. I know this stack keeps me awake and functional. So here we go. 200 milligrams dynamine, 50 milligrams bromotain, down the hatch. The next day, maybe take the same stack. Okay, take the same stack Monday and Tuesday. Fine. Wednesday, let's see. What do we got here? What do I need today? Today's a particularly hard day where I need all the functionality. I need to be awake, but I need it for a sustained period of time. I'm going to go with stack 4. A half tablet of modafinil at 100 milligrams. 100 milligrams phenylpiracetam, and on and on and on and on and on. Hope you guys get the point. Please go to Google Docs and start tracking your stacks. This is a simple way to do it that you can always access. And if you put it in this format, it's very, very simple on the eyes. Hope that's been helpful. Thanks so much for listening, everybody. Remember, everything at livecortex.com is on sale. Probably the best options are the Cortex stack, 30% off using the coupon code 30. I mean, that is a focus, motivation, mental energy stack. People love the Cortex stack. Been shipping to many countries at this point, 30-something countries for 5 years. Folks love it all around the globe. Get it at livecortex.com. Better deals, the Cortex double stack. That is 2 bottles of Cortex, $24 each. Find it at livecortex.com. If you're new to nootropics, you guys know the deal. Nootropics Ground Zero is where you have to start. That's why I created that course for people that are new. If you're in a year or 2 or 3, but really need to ascend to the master class, that's defined as the 6-year mark in using nootropics, get the Nootropics Masterclass. That's what that video course is for, and it is sick. Find it live at livecortex.com. Last couple things. Listen, if you're a business person and want to work with me at this capacity where we define stacks for your goals and work through a very specific logic-infused process of identifying what works and what doesn't work and then getting you on a schedule so that you can be uber productive in what you need to do for business, either get the 1 month intensive, and most people that get 1 month realize how much progress we get, and that moves on to a 3 month or 6 month or just continuing on 1 month's. The 3.5 month intensive is an incredible long package where we get a lot done in terms of optimizing brain performance, or the 6 month package where it's like the granddaddy of all packages. I mean, God, we get so much results. We permanently fix people's mental energy issues and then fully optimize cognition in so many different ways. Get all those at livecortex.com. Is there any question about what applies to you, please email me, Ryan at livecortex.com. Thanks so much for listening, everybody. Talk to you next time.